Good evening, I'm John Carter. Welcome to Poland Daily. Law and Justice Party politicians met with supporters in Krakow today. Party chairman Jarosław Kaczynski warned about the possibility of opposition parties seizing power. Kaczynski stated that if the Liberal opposition were to win the parliamentary elections in autumn, that will remove the social programmes already put in place.
Even if they wanted to, they are unable to take care of all this. They are linked to oppression groups in a variety of ways. I will stress this again, they are unable to take care of Poland regardless of their guarantees. Today they are saying that what we are doing is giving out money in a reckless fashion. Meanwhile, they are also saying that they will give even more. There is no logic to it, there is no cohesion, but there is no point in searching for logic in their words. When it comes to facts, however, to what can be expected, here is what will happen if they get into power. Speaking briefly and concisely, so that no one has any doubts, they will take away what we have given. They will take it away because they will have no other options. They will take it away because public finances will again be deep in crisis. Because those who stole that money for themselves before will feel once again that they can repeat that. That once again the situation will go back to what it was. So things would be like they were, quoting a certain lady, who by the way is a great film director. When I once quoted that director, lots of people said I couldn't do that, but I think it's justifiable to quote words which were said with such certainty. But ladies and gentlemen, it won't be like it was. It will be much worse if we allow them to win. During the terms of government of Civic Platform and the Polish People's Party, there were many more practices committed. There will be more if they win.
Sytuacja wróciła do tego, co było przedtem.
The Second World War Museum in Gdansk has announced the results of a contest to design a monument of Witold Pilecki, one of Poland's greatest heroes of the Second World War. He volunteered to infiltrate the German death camp Auschwitz as a prisoner. The jury unanimously chose a project created by Maciej Jagodziński-Jagenmir. The monument will be located at Bartoszewski Square.
Ten pomnik to
This monument is a part of Officer Pilecki's life story. It reminds us that he voluntarily entered a German concentration camp in Auschwitz in order to set up a conspiracy organization to fight the oppressors. We can see Officer Pilecki in his military uniform throwing the camp cap away and moving on to his next battle. The cavalry officer you see in this project is constantly moving on the edge between life and death, the edge between two totalitarian systems, and also between freedom and enslavement of Poland. That is, in my interpretation, a symbolic representation of the monument. If we look at the face of cavalry officer Pilecki, we can see a tired, experienced man, a man who opposed two totalitarian regimes, the two being Soviet communism and German Nazism.
Sowieckim komunizmem I niemieckim nazizmem. Praca ta otrzymała pierwszą nagrodę.
This project won first prize, which is 25,000 zlotys, as well as an invitation to negotiations regarding the building of the monument. The project received 100% support, meaning the decision was made unanimously. The jury considered this project the best one due to it being very detail-oriented and for the clarity of its message.
Jury konkursowe uznało tę pracę za najlepszą.
The Polish government is working on a special bill concerning the reconstruction of Warsaw Palace in Warsaw. The palace was completely obliterated by the Germans during the Second World War. Polish President Andrzej Duda announced the project on the centenary of Poland regaining independence.
The reconstruction teams are now in the planning phase of rebuilding Warsaw Palace. The nature of the reconstruction will be dependent on the new bill. It's such a huge operation that it requires a separate bill. We had the same situation with the central communication port. The city has no intention of co-financing the reconstruction, but it is willing to switch the lots. Warsaw Council will give away the area where the palace stood previously at the Piłsudski Square, and in exchange receive the state-owned lots at the Bankowe Square. The talks are ongoing, since we believe that not all real estate should be reconstructed. We fear that they plan to reconstruct not only the palace, but also the tenement housing surrounding it. It's unclear yet what the building's function will be. The government wants to move the Senate to one part of the palace, and there are also talks of creating the Museum of the Reconstruction of Warsaw in the other part.
Podchodzimy ze zrozumieniem do tego, że Senat...
We understand and respect the fact that the government wants to relocate the Senate to the palace. In terms of the remaining space, we would want it to be in accordance with the surrounding infrastructure, with the Saski Gardens to the rear and the Piłsudski Square in front. What will be there, we're not sure yet.
Lokale usługowe.
According to architect Grzegorz Buczek, without Saski Palace, Piłsudski Square looks empty and incomplete. He also stressed the importance of staying faithful to the original appearance. It would be sad if the square remained empty, although it does require a respectful approach. A city square should have an enclosure made of walls. What's more, the walls should dominate the open spaces. The late president of Poland, Lech Kaczyński, tried to push forward the idea of the reconstruction when he was mayor of Warsaw, but his successor, Hanna Gronkiewicz-Waltz, gave up on the project and decided to put the money into the construction of the Northern Bridge. It was an entirely political decision, in opposition to what the Warsawians wanted. The decision was made on the spot without any consultation. In terms of the palace, it won't be like the palace was never destroyed, but it will be an important return of a symbol of Warsaw identity. Saski Palace was completely destroyed by the Germans after the fall of the Warsaw Uprising. The only part remaining was a few columns, which are now part of the tomb of the unknown soldier monument.
Arkadiusz Mularczyk, the head of the Polish Parliamentary Committee on Reparations, has stated that the German state owes Poland $850 billion for damages inflicted on Poland during the Second World War.
In an interview for Reuters, the senior Polish lawmakers made the case for Poland being compensated for the losses it suffered at the hands of the Germans in the Second World War. Poland did not only lose millions of citizens, but also found itself brutally destroyed and looted. Hundreds of thousands of works of art and cultural icons were taken from Poland, and every citizen suffered from theft. Towns were devastated, destroyed. Many Polish towns were ruined and destroyed almost completely. For example, Warsaw, the capital of Poland, was 90% destroyed. Mularczyk continued by saying that it's unacceptable to Poles that legal bills are passed in the US, according to which Poland should pay reparations to American Jews for property lost in Poland during the war, while Poles receive nothing from Germany. Though Poland didn't receive any compensation and our citizens receive no reparations today, Americans who come here and say Poland should be paying damages. So, from our perspective, the situation is utterly bizarre, because as a country which was a victim of World War II, which had the biggest loss of all countries, today has to pay someone else damages. For us, this is simply insanity. We are in a situation where we accepted that the people addressing this should be the Germans. According to the parliamentary committee headed by Mularczyk, the losses inflicted on Poland by Germany would today amount to $850 billion.
Thank you very much for joining us here this evening at Poland Daily. I'm John Carter. Stay tuned after the break for Poland Daily weather. It's followed by the business, culture, history and finally the travel.